In this video, I show you how I make a really cool knife on my first attempt at knife making, or how I would have made one if it wasn't for one mistake. It started here at Maker Camp, with Brodbeck folks helping me with my first grinds on a new knife blank. I've been collaborating with them for a while through Magswitch. It's been a fun process, and I'm going to tell you more about that later in the video. But the next step is to make one of those firebox thingies. And the internet let me know that I brought the wrong fire bricks for the job, so I tried increasing the emissivity coefficient by scraping on some charcoal. And now it's time to heat the knife up and quench it. With a subject like this, trying to get just enough information to guide you in a mostly correct direction is like trying to take a drink through a fire hose. What I settled on is that if I purchased actual quenching oil and heated the blank up just a bit past the point where it loses its magnetism, that's what I'm doing here on the left, tapping it on a magnet to see where I'm at, I probably won't go too far wrong with the quench. So that's what I did. And my file says that it's at least harder than my welding table. But Andy, you need to temper it. So I went ahead and tempered the knife in our home oven, and it stunk up the whole house.
Get that stinky knife out of here.
And now for the Brodbeck project that was the initiating reason for this whole thing. I started talking to Brodbeck about their surface grinder because they wanted to change the permanent magnets that held the knife blank to the Magswitch switchable technology. I wanted to actuate all the magnets in one action, and I'm really thrilled with how this came out, and putting it to use on my first knife was fantastic. The initial production run of these is selling out fast, but as of this video posting, there are still some left. Link in the description for Brodbeck Grinders and the surface grinder attachment. Major bonus, easy to clean up. Slight detour, I decided it was time to make some soft jaws for my drill press vise. And now we start to approach the painful part of the build. What I'm doing right now is making a little custom sanding disc that I can use to put a circular grind on the knife around the hole at the end of the handle. And now I'm lasering a sun pattern around that hole. Not quite centered, as you can see. I had to use the sanding disc quite a bit to remove off-center sun patterns before I could get one that was close enough that I could tolerate. Anyone who has a trick to get a Glowforge to print exactly where the camera shows it and not like a 1/16 or 1/8 of an inch off, I'd love to hear it. So that's a nice round polished end on a brass rod, and now I'm breaking into a beautiful piece of ebony that I've been saving for a special occasion, forming rough handle sides and gluing it together. Come on, hot glue, don't let me down.
Andy stood there for a long time, coming to terms with the fact that he would need to make a new ebony handle side.
I think by now you probably see where I'm going with this design concept. Take a good look because I'm about to screw it up. This is total boat countertop epoxy that I'm using. I've used this before and had good results, and I thought such a tiny little epoxy pour would be no sweat. But I think it was cold in the shop, or for some other reason, it was more viscous than before, and those little bubbles just did not move. They stayed in place and clouded up and badly affected the final result. This was really frustrating and disheartening. It made the rest of the build drag on, as I knew I wasn't going to have the look I wanted. I appreciate whoever it was on the internet that said, oh, the bubbles are stars surrounding the sun. I definitely appreciate the thought, but that doesn't change that I'm a bit bummed with how this turned out, and I'm going to find a way to make it clear if I ever do this again. On that topic, I mentioned that I used this epoxy before, like on my desk here, and it looks good, no bubbles, until you shine a flashlight into it. Actually, there's still a ton of bubbles that become visible. Maybe that's just the best you can do with this epoxy? I don't know. Could I have done this better? Would you have used something else? What do you think? Help me out.
Dad, how is it turning?
Well, you gotta join my channel to learn how I did that.